Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well tonight. For those that might not recognize the place, yes, we are back at Watson's Mill, and we are here tonight on a beautiful, crispy fall evening to do a little bit of sunset photography. Now, for those that have seen my previous videos, I will link them here as well as down in the description below. I'm back here for two reasons. Now, the first reason why I'm back here is, as I mentioned previously, I'm actually working on a series, basically the 4 seasons series, where I'm going to go back to the same location during all 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, to come back to the same location in order to capture it in different conditions, obviously the different seasons. And hopefully this will inspire you to do the same in whether it's your own local area or to encourage you to travel to the same location in a different season. As an example, I've been to the Canadian Rockies twice, which is about a good 5-6 hour flight from where I live here in Ottawa. And I've been there once in the summertime and once during winter. And I would like to be there during the fall, and actually probably, I'm going to call it the shoulder season between fall and winter, where it'll provide a completely different set of conditions than just pure winter. Now, the second reason why I've decided to come back is the benefit of shooting local. Now, sometimes local photography doesn't seem as awe-inspiring as traveling to a majestic place like the Canadian Rockies. However, coming back to a local location allows you to improve your photography, try out new skills, new techniques, and potentially even new camera equipment without the stress of traveling and forcing yourself or trying to get the shot or not getting the shot because you're not familiar with your equipment. And there's also there's also another benefit of shooting local, which is coming back during different conditions, even during the same season. The fact that you're more familiar with the location allows you to find better vantage points or even just coming back during better weather conditions. The plan tonight is actually to try to replicate the same composition I've been shooting before and slightly try to improve upon it, but really to show that same vantage point, which I think is the nice shot of Watson's Mill, which is the iconic location here, an historic location, as well as the river kind of winding through, and during this season, the fall season, hopefully some nice fall colors. And then we'll explore a little more in terms of trying to find some more interesting compositions in this area. I'm going to walk you through my shot right now. I've already taken the photos. Now, given the weather conditions, it's a little bit windy, so I'm getting movement in the reeds down here, as well as the leaves. Is that I've decided to do a time blending. This is a little more of a complicated a post-processing technique, but basically I've taken 2 shots and I'm focus stacking on the reeds in front of me at f8 and then on the leaves and Watson's Mill in the background. So I've taken the shot at 1/200th of a second to help ensure that I've got no movement in the reeds or the leaves. But then I've changed my settings to get 1/4 of a second the river flowing to get the effect that I'm looking for. Now, I will point out that for the composition, I have at the moment excluded most of the sky, because unlike previous visits, there are no clouds. It's just this blah in the sky. Yeah, that is a technical term. Go Google it. Oh, wait, no. After the video, you can go Google it. Blah is a technical photography term, and that is the current sky conditions. I am happy with how this photo turned out. It's definitely not an award-winning photo in my book, but there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into editing this photo. I will say the challenging part was the reeds in the lower right-hand portion of the photo. Trying to get the image that was tack sharp of those in conjunction with the slower shutter speed for the river was actually quite challenging. But I am happy to challenge myself in my editing techniques, and this is definitely something I will remember for the future. During a bit of a location scout where I was just wandering around without my camera, I came across this scene here. Now, I would obviously like to have a little bit more fall colors in the scene, so I'll probably try to come back in the next week or so and hopefully catch a little more of the fall colors. But what I like about this is the framing I have here. There's a different photograph. Now, what I've had to do is actually a focus stack and a time blend, and so we'll see how this turns out. So it's a bit more of an advanced technique. But because of my proximity to the tree, I focused on that at f8, and then I focused on the leaves in the background, once again at f8, 1/200th over a second, once again to make sure I'm not getting any motion in the leaves. Then I actually did a different exposure for the sky to bring that down a little bit. And then I did another exposure for the water to get the 1/4 of a second that I was looking for. I will say that editing this image was much easier than the previous one because the water was not intersecting any of the trees or reeds or branches. That definitely made it easier for me to put this image together. And I actually very much do enjoy this image, even though I wish there were a little bit more fall colors here, but I have this composition now in the back of my mind, and I will remember that for future visits. So tonight I got the standard shot I was pretty much looking for, but as mentioned earlier, without really any clouds in the sky, I didn't use the exact same composition. I cut out more of the sky. Now I might come back here in the next few days or the week to try to get more fall colors and hopefully capture some more cloudy skies, as you saw in some of the previous photographs. Actually, I will admit I'm still chasing that photo I took a few years back, which I'll put up now. That is one challenge when you've got a really great photo from one location, is trying to get similar conditions to see if you can better that photo. But that is further up at Watson's Mill, which I'm not going to try even replicate that photo tonight because you do need the clouds. And that is requiring also long exposures, which with no clouds doesn't work.
Time goes by, yeah, you and I are running out.
So the next evening, I actually did come back to Watson's Mill, as you can see here. However, I had a little audio problem. Now, you'll see in the video that I am wearing my microphone. It is attached to all the equipment, but I forgot to flick a switch that would actually make audio. So I will not bore you with trying to repeat exactly what I was saying because my lip reading skills is, well, they're non-existent. But I do want to walk you quickly through, before I get to the photos, why I am up here. So I did decide to come up on top of the dam as opposed to the lower area where I was shooting before, simply because there wasn't really a lot of great light. Now, a cool thing you'll notice here in the video are basically the long wooden logs. These things are actually used to control the flow of the dam, so pretty neat. So I do have my camera perched up on here, and I have Watson's Mill in the left-hand side, and I have the river streaking through the frame. I will share two of my photographs. I was doing long exposure photography. I did actually use the PhotoPills app. Now, to use this, I got my base exposure. So what you're seeing here is me selecting the original settings and then actually adding a 3-stop neutral density filter, which gave me my 4-second shutter speed. And then next, I actually did the same technique and used my 6-stop neutral density filter to get to a 32-second shutter speed. Now, most cameras, here's a quick note for those that aren't aware, most cameras do not allow a shutter speed longer than 30 seconds in any of the settings except for bulb mode, which at this point I did attach my remote release and then set a timer on that for 32 seconds to get that photo. So here's the two photos side by side. Now, as you can definitely tell, there is a difference, especially in the clouds. Now, I do wish, obviously, there was more color this evening, but this is just a quick little lesson in terms of what you can do with long exposures and getting some streaky clouds. We are back at Watson's Mill because the last time I was here, I didn't exactly get the conditions I was hoping for. And although today here in Ottawa, it was basically overcast, drizzling, and pretty much just a mucky, ugly day. As evening approached, the clouds are starting to break up, the sun was starting to shine through. So I decided to pop out here to Watson's Mill. As I've mentioned, it is a local spot. It's not very far from where I live. And I thought this would be an opportunity to try to get that shot I keep trying to chase at this spot. And obviously the time of year I really want to get that is right now in fall. So I was more than happy to come back out here. So let's go have a look and see what I have set up to try to get a shot here today. That is something that I'm looking for. So the shot I have framed up here, and pardon the pun, it is framed by the upper branches that are hanging over the scene. It is blocking some of the sky, which actually has got a bit of color in it. But as you can see, there's really no foreground specific. It is the river that's flowing through, and it's a direct shot at Watson's Mill. So my settings here for the moment, f/16, 1/5 of a second, ISO 100. And that's giving me the motion I'm looking to capture in the river that's flowing past. But I am going to darken down the sky to try to get the colors as we go. So that's what I'm going to keep working on and try to get that color in the sky here tonight. What I have set up here is f/16, half second, ISO 200 with a circular polarizer, which gives me the exposure for the river as well as the rest of the scene, with the exception of the sky. So what I have done is I have changed my settings, and I've already taken a shot here. Oops, different shoot, to f/16, ISO 100. It's 3.2 seconds, and I have a 3-stop leaf filter, neutral density filter on, to try to get a little more movement in the clouds, and as well to try to capture more of that color.
As you can tell from my previous videos, this isn't the exact image I was going for, but am I ever in love with it. The colors of the leaves, the sky, the silky smooth water, also the framing of the photo. I do very much love the overhanging branches and leaves. It's a very simplistic photo, but I'm ever glad I came back out on this particular evening.
So I was considering packing it up after that last shot, but there was still some nice clouds going over Watson's Mill. So I changed my composition to come out to get much more of the sky in, and I framed it so I've got basically all the clouds that are really there are in the frame, so it's part of my composition. And I have on the left-hand side, as you'll see here, framing the left-hand side, the trees, some reeds, and obviously the river, and following that curve as it goes around. And we're pretty much a straight shot looking at Watson's Mill, anchored a little bit on the right side with some of the trees there. For this image, I actually did a focus stack. I focused on the reeds in front, then in the middle ground, actually basically on Watson's Mill, I should say, and then I'm just doing an exposure for the sky. So there's 2 exposures for 2 shots for focus, and then another shot for the sky. Here's that image now.
I think I got it. I think I got the photograph I was after at this location. As you can tell, I've been here a number of times, but here, the water, the light, the clouds, I think everything just came together on this particular evening. I'm very happy with this photograph. I hope you enjoyed as well, and I can't wait to see if I can replicate something as nice this winter.
I really hope you've enjoyed this outing here at Watson's Mill here in the fall. I will link up here to a playlist that I call the 4 Seasons of Watson's Mill that will include all 4 seasons. Obviously, once I've shot the winter one, I'll add it to that playlist. And as well, I'll add the videos to the description below. To wrap things up, highly encourage you to get out and shoot your local scenes and try them all 4 seasons. I'm actually having a blast doing this, and I can't wait to come back here and shoot in winter. That's all for now, and until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.
Time goes by, yeah, you and I are running out, running out.